Okay, let's talk about zombies, voodoo, Haiti, the US, why they're all related, and why it's important now. Haiti became the world's first black republic after waging a successful slave rebellion against the French. This led to the country gaining its independence in 1804. A huge portion of Haiti's success in the slave rebellion is due in part to the ceremony that took place at Bois, Caiman, which is where the insurrection was planned and a voodoo ceremony ensued. When the US got word that Haiti won its war with France and now stood as an independent black republic, tensions were through the roof. There wasn't a single week that went by that didn't make mention of Haiti in the newspapers. Haiti was being discussed in every state congress. By default, Haiti became synonymous with rebellion and stood as a threat to white supremacy in the pro-slavery South. White America feared that Haiti's success would without a doubt inspire and give hope to an imagined future of emancipation and liberation for black Americans in the West, and this was an issue. Slowly over time, this idea of some sort of Haitian contagion among white Americans began to take root, and the US needed a way to dismantle that. And so it was during the US occupation in 1915 that Catholic and Christian missionaries made a concerted effort to demonize Haitian spiritual practices. One of the ways they chose to do this was by disseminating misinformation about Haitian voodoo. An American by the name of William Seabrook, who was there during the occupation, became very familiar with the concept of the Haitian zombie, which is basically the process of reanimating a dead corpse through ritualistic magic by a boko, or witch doctor. His discovery and research around Haitian voodoo would become the basis for a film that was released in 1932 by the title White Zombie. White Zombie is the first feature-length zombie film and is said to be the foundational framework for which all zombie movies were created after its release. White Zombie was America's first introduction to a bastardized representation of Haitian spirituality. It served as a catalyst for the creation of more zombie films that were intentionally created to spread misinformation and light a flame to white America's worst fears around voodoo. American media also used this as a tool to further dehumanize and villainize black folk. In a lot of these movies, zombies are depicted as these vile creatures, skinned usually on the darker side, if not covered by dirt, and white women were always the victims. American media went out of its way to paint Haiti as a savage, lawless, primitive land that was filled with nothing but evil, magic, and disease, hence my use of the term Haitian contagion. America understood the threat that Haiti posed and what it would mean for a society that thrived on white supremacy, as the French did. Now, my reason for bringing this up is that Haiti is still suffering from this stigmatization till this day. Even now, voodoo is still used as a scapegoat for Haiti's issues. There are Christian extremists who are on the ground seeking to rid Haiti of its spiritual practices. Again, till this day, these people claim that Haiti is suffering from poverty, disenfranchisement, and elemental persecution as a result of a pact they made with the devil. If there's anything I want you to take from this video, it's that since the inception of this black republic, the US has sought to destabilize the country through means of politics, economics, education, etc. The only thing Haiti is paying for is its liberation.